It's like Fire Emblem, but not quite. I'll go over my thoughts. And I'll you know, yeah, I'll make this little segment of the stream into a YouTube video. Why not? I just giving my initial thoughts after playing one chapter of the game. As a big Fire Emblem fan, I was very, very, very excited for this game, actually. Just like when I saw it, I was just like, oh fuck, this is just Fire Emblem. When I saw the grid-based combat, I was like, oh fuck, we got a new Fire Emblem? Question mark? But anyways, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. It's kind of distracting. Yeah, so Project Triangle Strategy. Hoping for a good name, to say the least. I'm just gonna go over right now. Story setup seems to be pretty solid so far. I mean, it's kind of hard. It throws you into the middle of the game, which is kind of weird. Spoils 2 deaths that seem pretty major, honestly. Like, it's like chapter 6 is what you start on, which is kind of weird. But oh well. What a name. Yeah. Pending name. Pending name. But the story seems pretty interesting. I'm actually kind of intrigued. I only played the first chapter, so I don't know a whole lot. But the story's pretty cool. I'm really liking the music right now, so far, from what I've heard. What else? I really like the visuals. Visuals are really good. It's a nice mix of just 3D rendered stuff and 32-bit sprites for the characters, which is really fucking cool. I really like that. It's kind of similar to Octopath, if I'm not mistaken, in that regard. Now, to the meat of it, the thing that I care about is the gameplay. So first and foremost, there's 3 sections of the game. Number 1 is the story stuff. Number 2 is exploration. So it's kind of almost similar to a monastery type thing in 3 Houses, where you kind of just run around. It's not quite the same, you know. It's a little area, and you run around there, and you look at. It's where your next chapter is gonna be, right? So you can see all the interact with stuff and see what you can do on the map before you actually play on it, which is pretty interesting, honestly. I like that concept. It's kind of like check map, but a little more in depth, which is cool. And then it throws you in. There's a little bit more story, and then it throws you into the chapter to actually play the game. And the gameplay. I played 1 chapter. I don't really know how to feel about it yet. It's interesting. It seems to me that everyone has Kanto. If you don't move and then attack, you can move after. I think that's how it works. Or maybe if you just don't use your full movement. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but you can move after attacking under certain circumstances. With every unit, not just mounted ones, which is interesting. Combat is certainly different from Fire Emblem. The doubling doesn't seem to be very prevalent. I'm not really sure how it works. It's honestly, sorry, tired. Sorry. But honestly, I think doubling is really I don't know. I really don't understand the combat in its entirety yet. Obviously, I played 1 chapter and it's the demo and this and that. But the cool thing about the combat is that if you go for like a pincer attack, so you got 1 unit here and 1 unit here, and you attack into an enemy in between, they both hit, which is really cool. The direction you're facing actually fucking like really matters, because if you get hit from behind, it's a crit. It's an automatic crit. But you can hit the enemy from behind and crit them, so I mean, fair game. So after you attack, you can actually pick which way you face. So I think that'll be as important as Kanto, if not more, because you'll be like You know, you got to make sure that your back isn't facing them. Basically, you got to make it hard for them to get those crits on you, and you gotta find your own ways to get crits on them. I don't think the enemies actually turn after combat. I could be wrong, could be mistaken, but I don't think they are, or they do. But that mechanic, just the backstabbing is cool, and the pincer attack is really cool in my opinion. Magic's a little weird. You know, it's a lot more range or a lot less range. Tomes are 1 range, and then like other magic things are like 4, maybe 5. So that's pretty interesting. Bow seems to be 2 to 4 range, which is cool. Always dig bows doing more range than just 2. And there's flyers seem to not be weak to bows, or at the very least the griffin that your 1 unit rides in the 1st chapter or 6th chapter. So who knows? There was one other thing. Oh, counterattacking might just not exist in this game, and I think that is very intriguing. I think that obviously allows for a much more player-phased game, and hopefully it just isn't slow, you know? From what I was playing, it was pretty slow, but I mean, it's my first time getting used to how the game plays, so obviously I wasn't gonna be like fucking playing fast like I do with like FE6 or something, where I just know how the menus work. I can like physically play fast, right? But yeah, still playing. Why did they spell JLG? What? I think I missed that. What the fuck? I did not finish the game. I didn't finish it. That's fucked up, man. I only played the 1st chapter. And I'm just giving my thoughts on it right now. On just how I feel the game is. And it's going to be going on YouTube so you can watch the full thing. But I know my weapon triangle square. Yeah, facts. Say G in a second. Nice. But yeah, so overall, it's kind of hard to say, but for now, the gameplay feels a little bit clunky. Not like super clunky, but that's just because like I don't really know like how to do all the stuff yet, right? And that's why it feels clunky to me. I have to learn it, and then when I learn it, it won't feel clunky, I'm sure. Combat is pretty sick, but the speed-based turn keep making me forget to heal. That's the other thing. I think it's interesting how the turns work. They work closer to a game like fuck. What's a game that actually like works like that? I'm not saying XCOM. Jonah's not right. It's like that Marvel Facebook game. I think it'll become a habit, but the menus feel real. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the menus feel like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess clunky, stiff, you know. Nothing horrible though. You heard me. Marvel Facebook game that I used to play, because I used to play Facebook games. What a cringe dumb idiot I was. But yeah. There is combat effectiveness. You know, there's some units are weak to fire and some are weak to ice, and the other elements, electric and wind, I believe, are the other 2, which will be in the game eventually, obviously. So that's pretty cool. But as far as I know, I feel like this game won't have anything like Horse Slayer type deal, or an Armor Slayer, or Hammer, stuff like that. As well as flyers seem to not be weak to arrows, so combat's definitely going to be different in that sense. But yeah, it's So I think it'll approve. Okay, I'm definitely gonna hop on that train because I want to. And my hot girl fighter actually felt wrong. Yeah, because you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna die. The best thing is just it. It just what's the word I'm looking for? There's no counterattacking. I think I read that one of my units had counterattack as like a skill. So counterattacking clearly is not a thing that everyone has, and I assume doubling is the same way. I could be wrong, but I could also be right. So yeah, quick recap. Story seems solid. Voice acting, iffy, but whatever. Visuals, beautiful. I really like them. And of course the music, really, really, really good. Gameplay, I'm a little meh on it right now. I'll have to get more used to it. I'll probably play this through a few times just to get used to the gameplay, how it feels and stuff. So expect an update, or just like an updated opinion, I guess, on the game at a later point. But yeah, that's all I'm really gonna do for Triangle Strategy today. But yeah.